The biggest ChatGPT update of the year has just been released. We've got a brand new interface here, but more importantly, we now have the ability to create our own GPTs right inside of ChatGPT. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create your own custom GPT. Here's one that I made. It took about 10 minutes. You don't need any technical skills to do this. English is the new coding language. So I'll take you through all the steps and also the top 5 mistakes to avoid when creating your own custom GPT. I've been helping some people out and these mistakes keep coming up, so make sure that you avoid them. So my name is Daragh. Let us dive straight in. So how do you access these GPTs? Well, you can see inside of ChatGPT that we have a bit of a new interface here. We no longer have the drop downs for the different models at the top of the page. These are now in the sidebar here, so we can still select if we want to use GPT-4 or GPT 3.5 or use the plugins. But if we want to access the GPTs, we just click open the sidebar here, and then we click on to Explorer, and it can open up here, and we can see that we can create our GPTs, or we can use other people's GPTs. They'll appear right here. Now, Sam Altman did say that the GPTs are now live for all ChatGPT Plus subscribers, so you should be seeing this in your account if you have a ChatGPT Plus account. Now, if you want to upgrade, you can just click on your username there, click on My Plan, and then it should open up and you can upgrade if you want. Now, interestingly, I've been talking to some people and a lot of people seem to want to upgrade because of these new GPTs and the new features like DALL-E 3. So it's going to be interesting how much these new releases really grow this company. So what really are the benefit of these GPTs to us as users and also as creators of the GPT? Well, really, this new ability allows us to create custom versions of ChatGPT that we can create for a specific purpose, and that'll just make them more useful to us really as users. So here is the GPT that I created, Socrates GPT, and really it's just to help people think more deeply about a specific problem. So for example, I can just click one of the conversation starters here saying I'm addicted to my phone, and Socrates will use his wisdom to really help me solve that problem or think more deeply about how I could solve it. So of course we can do this in ChatGPT. I can just ask it to pretend it's Socrates, but we don't have those conversation starters. We don't have all those instructions. So this is just a quick way to share out really a prompt or any AI agent with people. And that's the real benefit of these custom GPTs. So what's the benefit for you to create a GPT then? Well, I can't see any information about who uses my GPT. All I can see is the number of times that people have used it. So I can see there's been 49 chats here. Can we get that to 100? I'll leave the link to this in the description below, so please go and try it out. But really the main benefit to us as creators is we can put our GPT into the GPT Store, and that should be opening at the end of November. OpenAI are rolling out a revenue sharing model, which probably will be based on usage. So if we have a GPT that's highly used, then we can earn basically passive income from creating these GPTs. Now, another benefit of these GPTs is not only that you can put them in the GPT Store, but you can see here that you can have them public like that. So they may appear in the GPT Store, but you can also send them to people with the link. So you could share these out to team members, maybe specific tasks for your businesses, or it could be only for you. So you could have essentially your own AI agent that you've trained for a particular task in your business. And this is just something that can really help you do it quickly, and that you can just keep it private and use it for yourself. There's actually one more benefit of creating these GPTs as a creator, and that's as a sort of lead generation or traffic driving tool. So you can see in this GPT here, actually there's a link back to the creator's website. And so this is driving visitors to the website right from ChatGPT. So if you want to set that up for yourself, you just click down into your profile name, click on settings and beta, click on profile or builder profile. And here you'll be able to enable this and connect your domain so that then you can be driving traffic back to your website right inside of ChatGPT. So now that we know what GPTs are and the benefits of them, let's go ahead and start making our GPT step by step. So open up the sidebar here, click on Explore, click on Create a GPT, and here we have our GPT Builder. So on the left-hand window here, this is actually where we create our GPT, and there are two options here. So the Create tab, it's like talking to ChatGPT and it'll prompt us to actually build our GPT. In the Configure tab here, this gives us more options to customize our GPT. You can start straight here. It might be better to go through the builder and then actually customize it in Configure. And then over on the right-hand side of the screen here, we have our preview screen where we can test out our GPT, make sure it's working like we want it, so we can preview all of the answers before launching it. So let's start with the Create tab. And as you can see here, the first prompt is, what would you like to make? And this is where the first big mistake comes in with people creating their GPTs, and the top mistake to avoid. And the first mistake I've seen is people trying to make something too big the first time that they make a GPT. If you're not making your first GPT in under 4 minutes, you're doing it wrong. Get something done, and then you can build on that once you understand how to actually go through the steps of building a GPT. Then build something more complicated using all of the upload files, AI agents, and all of that stuff. So what I suggest you do is go into the Explore tab here and have a look at the GPTs that are already in the GPT Store. This way we'll be creating a GPT in the style that ChatGPT thinks is appropriate for its store first time around. So I'm going to pick the negotiator here, try and recreate this one, and then the next iterations I can add more complicated options in there. So come back to the Create tab here, and I'm going to put in, I want to create an expert negotiator to help me get a pay rise or better terms on a lease or a deal. So it says here, great choice. I suggest naming the GPT negotiation coach. Does that work for you? So before I reply to that, we're going to go back to the top 5 mistakes to avoid when creating your top GPT. And this is important. Number 2, not backing up your instructions. So ChatGPT is having outages. And also if you exceed 50 messages in 3 hours, you might lose all of your instructions and work. So right from the start, what I would recommend you do is any instructions that you're putting in here, that you copy and paste these into a Google Doc. For example, you like the name, okay, negotiation coach. I actually love that. So I'm going to put this, just copy and paste these in as you go along. I talked to someone who spent an hour putting in instructions, all of it gone because ChatGPT went down. So avoid that mistake and back up your instructions. So I'm going to say, yes, that's a perfect name. Now, once I've confirmed my name, ChatGPT has actually gone ahead and created an icon for my GPT using DALL-E 3. And I think that looks perfect as well. Handshaking, negotiation. Again, I think that looks perfect. And you can see that it's just prompting me. This is quite an automated process. So next we have some questions here, and it really asked me for instructions about the role and the goal of this GPT. So generally the next step after name and image is going to be to give more instructions on the role. So it has suggested some options here like getting specific guidance on salary. So I've just said yes to all of that stuff. And I've also said, negotiating the price of a house maybe, or a business deal, common negotiations that many people need help with. So I'm going to try and create this GPT to have broad appeal so that many people are using it. Now, the next question seems to be part of the process every time as well. It asks for your tone, or the tone that it should maintain. So formal or casual or unapproachable. And it'll also ask, are there any topics that you should steer clear of, like legal advice or overly aggressive negotiation tactics? So I'll just say casual and approachable. And there's nothing that really, I think, needs to be avoided. The next step in the process then is to confirm how the GPT should handle requests for clarification. So If the user's questions are vague, should the GPT ask for more details? And just going to confirm that yes, they should do that. The next question then is asking about how we would like to present the information. Should we use examples and analogies in the advice or more up-to-date trends and data? And I think examples and analogies in this GPT would be the best case scenario, giving examples of how to negotiate something. And you can see here we've got a problem. This is why it's important to back it up. So let's just regenerate this and hopefully we can continue with the build. So this doesn't seem to be resolving, but let's try and go ahead and save this just for only me at the moment. And hopefully we can save this and continue later. So we saved it successfully. So let's just go back in and click on Edit GPT again. And it says, welcome back, anything you should like to change. Now in this scenario, what we can do is we can open up the Configure tab. And here we could add in more detailed instructions if we wanted to. Now, one thing you might want to do here is change the conversation starters. So right now we've got 4 here. Tips for closing a business deal, how to start a negotiation conversation, what's a good strategy for lease negotiations, how do I negotiate a higher salary? So out of those 4 conversation starters, personally, I only think the first one is strong. That would actually get me to click on it. And this is a really important part of the process as well. So that actually brings us beautifully on to the next common mistake when creating your GPTs, and that's using the default bio and conversation starters. So I think in this case, the bio is actually perfect. I'm ready to assist you with pay rises, leases, and deals. So it gives a clear example of what the benefit is to me as a user. But also these conversation starters are critical because if people don't want to click on your GPT as soon as they open it up, then you're going to get no users and then you're never going to get into the GPT store, or it just won't be beneficial to your team. So the common mistake then is just using these default conversation starters. So what I recommend you do is open up ChatGPT and ask it to help you brainstorm some conversation starters. So I just gave it some instructions there saying to start the conversation would help me. I've got some good ideas here. Help me secure a pay rise at work, help me get a discount, etc. So we've got what's a good strategy for lease negotiation. I'm going to change that to help me negotiate a better deal on my rent. I think that's much more action orientated and much more likely for people to click. And this even sounds more action orientated. Help me secure a pay rise at work rather than how do I secure a higher salary. Our changes are still unpublished, as you can see. So let's make sure that we update them and confirm them. And now we can click open our GPT. And to test it out, all we need to do is click on one of the conversation starters and get going. Now, for example, you can see that in this case, right now, it's just spitting out a pretty long answer. It doesn't feel like a natural conversation to me. So this is something that we can update in our instructions. I'm going to go back here and edit the GPT. I can configure and put in something like, so I'll ask it to give short answers, make it feel like a consultation. Update this again. Can try it out and see if this is any better. Help me secure a pay rise at work. And now you can see it feels much more like I'm having a consultation with somebody. There's specific questions, and I could even refine that even more to say, no, even shorter, just one question at a time, something like that. But that's how easy it is to add in instructions and make your GPT even better. Now, there are even more customization options. So let's open this up even more into the Configure tab once again. So we could keep adding to those instructions until we get the responses that we like. But what you can also do is upload a knowledge base as well. Now, there are 2 reasons you'd want to upload a knowledge base. The first reason is to have more up-to-date information. So we know that ChatGPT's training data is only up to April 2023. So if there are recent trends or information that you want to include, it would be good to upload them as a file there. So you can just upload a PDF, a text file, really anything like that. Now, the second reason you'd want to upload files is if there was specialized knowledge or a specific knowledge base. So for example, this is somebody who built Horam, I think his name is Horamsy. He's quite a well-known guy, but you can see that if we look down here, the knowledge base that this guy trained this GPT on was hundreds of hours of Hormozy's content. So this would be like YouTube videos, things like that. So the creator of that GPT probably just went through the YouTube videos, took them, maybe got the transcripts just by putting them in a tool like that or downloading them straight from YouTube itself, copy those in, put them back into ChatGPT, and then he would have had a GPT trained on a specific knowledge base. Now, another customization feature is the capabilities. So by default, these will all be toggled on. So we've got web browsing, DALL-E 3, and code interpreter. I'm going to keep web browsing on because I think it might be helpful to get up-to-date negotiation tactics or information, but I don't think we'll need the other two. So I'll leave those off. So this GPT's as quick as possible. Now down here, we also have actions as well, which is a little bit more of an advanced feature, but we'll have a quick look at it in this video. Let's click in and learn a little bit more about what these actions are. So what these actions allow you to do is to retrieve information or take actions outside of ChatGPT. And there's a direct link here to learn more, and a full article is here. Also, on the OpenAI Dev Day, they also did a segment on this particular feature, and it's at 24 minutes, or I'll put the link in the description and you can check it out. But essentially what it allows you to do is use Zapier, which allows you to connect ChatGPT to other tools like Notion or Slack or Gmail or Google Sheets or Google Forms, and allows you to use and integrate all of these tools together. So the example that they looked at on the Dev Day was that they connected ChatGPT to Google Calendar using Zapier, and then she was able to talk to ChatGPT as if it was her AI, like personal assistant, and see if there was any conflicts on the calendar and cancel a meeting by sending a Slack message to someone. So that's pretty amazing stuff, and just opens up a whole new world of possibilities for what these GPTs can actually do. But I think for this video, we're not going to get into all those details, but do subscribe if you want to see videos on that as well. So I think we pretty much covered everything in the Configure tab here and looked at all the possibilities of what you can do. Now make sure that you save all of your updates here. And this is the next most important thing, and the most common mistake is not sharing your GPT properly. So make sure that you have selected the right option. So at the moment, this is only me because I'm still working on it, but you might want to share it out and get some feedback so you can confirm that. And then obviously, if you want it to be public and in the GPT Store, whenever that opens, select that option. We don't know when the GPT Store is going to open. They said at the end of this month, but if you feel like your GPT is ready, I'd leave that option on. So it's the first one to really get in there. So that wraps up this video. Give it a like if you found it helpful. Subscribe to stay updated. And if you've made it all the way to the end, maybe you're interested in joining my ChatGPT Insiders community. We're sharing all our GPTs, getting feedback from each other and helping each other out ride this AI wave. So the link to that will also be in the description if you want to check it out. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.